Hey, so I've been asked about making a video on SFM. Well, I remember a comment saying about it, so I'm gonna say some basics about SFM and get this fucking mic in place. Right, I'm gonna show you little bits of how I make a poster in SFM and little bits to do with SFM. Okay, first, this is what you get as soon as you open SFM. You get new session, which is basically you create a session, you can browse where you want to make it, then you click create when it's thing. Frame rate, I don't understand that, but usually you're going to be running about 24 frames per second if you're doing more film stuff. I am no good at animating, I am shit. Right, I need to get something out of the way. Before we go any further, I've heard about this copper stuff. Now, I'm not a fan of what's happening with it, but I really needed to say something about it. And, well, I'm not happy about it, but I don't want to go on about it, but anyway, I digress. Recent session basically means that you will go into a session that is recently been opened, like here. I already had this made, ready for this video. Then open session is just basically looking through all of them to find a session. So we'll open this session up. Now, when it's opening a pre-made session, it will show loading map, and you will have characters and models, whatever, in this animation set editor. Once they're in the set editor, that's basically what you can work with. Now, obviously, if you're doing any modeling or whatever, or moving this camera, you need to go to motion editor or graph editor. So now we will grab this camera and we can move it around. Now, to move the camera around, you use WASD to move. You have to click, then use W goes forward, S goes back, A right, A left, D right. You can also go up and down, which is Z for up, X for down. That's your basics for the camera. Now, here we've got to create a character, which this is my character, which nobody is to use, thank you very much. I'll only give it to certain people. Now, we got this character, we want to make a poster where he's going from explosions. So, how do I do it? Well, I got two ways of posing, but I'll come to that after this. Anyway, we're gonna need, for the idea, we're gonna need a plank of wood. So now, if you want to put another model here, you can either click this to get this menu up, or you can right click here and it will give you this menu. Now, what you want to do is go create animation set for new model. You'll be greeted with this. Now, this is the model viewer, or the model viewport for which model you want to load. So, if you want to load a model of, say, something from Team Fortress 2, like Heavy, you've got all these stuff to do with Heavy. All the Gibbs, the robots, it's all Team Fortress 2, even got the Heavy himself. But we don't want that. We want to be looking for planks of wood. So, we'll look up plank. Now, obviously, some of these are a bit big, and I'll get on to how you can change the size of them soon. But what we want is we want to try and find a squarish looking piece, but there isn't, so the closest piece we're going to have to do is this one here. Now, as you notice, it spawns in front of the camera, but also another thing, you can see how big it is. So in order to change the size of it, you select it, right click, gives you this menu. You need to go to utilities and add scale control to models. Then that will give you the option for this root transform scale. That will control the size of the mod. So now we're just going to make it smaller, lift it up. We want to make it so it's just small enough that it's like a plank that's pushing him from that he's standing on, angled, pushing him from the explosion. So we've got this in place. By the way, I'm just using, this is how you move it. You got this one, which will bring, if you do shift and click, it will bring it down to floor level. This one is your up and down, back and forth, left and right. Because it's 3D space, you have 3 dimensions, which basically means 3 axes, which is your X, Y, and Z. Anyway, we want him to be on this, but the problem is, look at him, he's T-posing. That ain't good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to now pose him. Now, you can do this in 2 different ways. You can pose him via clicking this and then rotating it. By the way, you can click different buttons to load these up, or you can just click them down here to change them between the settings. Anyway, you can move them like this, which you got your Z, your Y and your X. There's your 3 dimensions, and you can also do it as in a whole circle thing like this. Now, what we want to be doing is we need to grab this entire set, we need to lift it, move it to in front of this. Now you might notice, oh, he's clipping. Well, no worries. We just do this, lift him up, but then when I pose him, it won't thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to put him so far into it, tilt him forward. Well, tilt him a little bit. Now, I could just do this, lift this up, and then across like that. Camera, please get on, work with me. And then I could make it so that his foot basically goes on there. That's how I used to do it. That's how you can make posters, as I've made before. If I show you my desktop, I have managed to make some of these with the power of this, the power of just doing it by the turning, but there's another way I've done it. Plus this, if you look here, I'll show you a bit about that. So, back to SFM. What we're going to do is we're going to click onto the Inkling Boy model. Now we're going to go to rig. Now, if you don't have this, get it. You can get it from the workshop. It is the IK rigs for Inklings and Octolings. What you do then is you click that. Now you realise that this has changed on the body. Now if I click it, the bones look different. Now you might be saying, yes, but JH, Inklings don't have bones. And to that I say, you're right. But in SFM's case, these nodes here are called bones. And then these bones are what you can move in order to make it look posed thing. Now what we want to be doing is we want to be grabbing the right leg here, or the right foot. Now this is the good thing about the fact of this posing thing with the rig. I've got the foot here. If I move this, the whole knee and leg move, which makes it much easier to do poses. So it saves you having to mess around doing all of this. So we're going to put his feet on here, slanted down obviously, because he's basically pushed on it. Now, as you can see, we're trying to get it to look like he's squatting on it in a way that he's trying to hold. He's basically thing. So now there's a problem here. He's a bit too far thing. So what we need to do is move him down a bit, and then we just do some couple of corrections. As you can see, his foot looks like it's floating here, but that's an easy fix for just moving it. and then we just move this foot like that. Now the problem is he looks like his upper body is still kind of, yeah, he kind of looks like he's taking a shit. Being honest with you, he looks like he's taking a massive fucking dump. Yeah, so what we want to do now is we're gonna grab the hip. We'll grab pelvis. Pelvis and hips are basically the same thing. This just basically changes what you're turning. So we'll do that so that then he looks like he's doing that. But then we're going to come to the chest and we're going to tilt it forward. Now you'll see why I'm doing this, because first of all this process is going to look shit because it's just for this tutorial. Second of all, I have no fucking clue if I'm getting this near right. I'm probably going to need to tilt this thing a bit. Tell you what, we're going to tilt this thing a bit more. Wrong one. And then we're going to move it more into place. And then we're going to make it a tad bit bigger. Okay, way too big. Now you can just click into it and take some of these numbers off, and it will change the size. As you can see, it just changed the size. So that's how you can do that also. I know it'll be a bit of all here, there, everywhere, but this is just trying to help you out with little basics on how I infect posters. So now we need to make this more to fit with the new angle. So there we go. And there we go. Now we need to really, ideally, bring the pelvis back, but then look, the knees and everything look like shit. Well, easy fix. Just grab the knee icon and just move it till it looks better. Okay. Okay, I somewhat got it right. Took too fucking long. I'll just edit some text on scene. And I'm silent because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. Anywho, we've got that done. Now, as you can see, he looks a bit shitty with the way he's done. Let's just modify the chest a little, because we can just use the head to aim down for it. Now, what we want to do is we want to grab the arms now. Now, the way I'm seeing it is I do the right hand, as I can see now, is that the right hand can go onto the wood that he uses to grip for it, which we can easily get to go in place. Excuse me. Pardon me, I did that a bit then. Right, now, his fingers don't look right, do they? But, no worries. We can easily fix that just by going into this thing here. Now, usually you would have to click onto the bones, which takes you into the unknown part, which has them, but ignore that. What we're going to do is we're doing it through the rigged one. Now, what we're going to do is we want to get the thumb. Now, because the thumb needs to be somewhat on it, so that's close enough. I mean, the camera's going to look from the front, so there's no really too much thing. Now, these alternate, as you can see, if you want the bottom fingers. Well, bottom bone ones for the bottom fingers. Then you just have to change them out by this. By the way I'm doing this is pressing Control to select multiple in the model viewer. If I can get my bloody keys right, for fuck's sakes. Anyway, now this looks a bit shit to me, but there's nothing much I can do about it. But there may be something we can do. Remember how this moves the entire thing? Well, if we just do the hips, you see, it makes it look a bit neater. But anyway, we can make it this so that the leg's more over that way anyway. So, down to the end of the day, that's personal preference on what you want to do. Now, obviously, we need to get this arm done, which we're going to hold in front. Now, a good way that I've learned how to do poses is to try and do the poses in real life. So like, try and feel like how you would pose yourself if you were in the situation and it were real life. Obviously, this ain't real life, this is fucking cartoon, or whatever you want to call it. Really, this is just a poster thing, animation, test, bullshit, whatever, I don't fucking know. Anyway, we're gonna have his arm, oh, that doesn't want to be happening. We're gonna have his arm on his leg down here. Okay, stretching a little. So instead, we're just gonna put his hand well, really, we'll put it as like a, like that. That'll do. Okay, so now, I did talk about the camera, so what we're going to do, I'm sorry if I'm going over things I've already said. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pose the face. But first, what I want to do is I want to angle the ears down so it looks a bit, so it gives a slight bit more thing to the expression. Now, what we want to do is we want to make him look sort of badass, but then I thought, I've just thought now, what I'll do is I'll grab this and this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one first, then this one. This will give me a bit more control over it. But what we're going to do is try and make him look badass in a way so that he's tilted, but obviously in no way am I going to get that to work. But the idea I had is it's like this, from the explosion, so I guess that'll do. Now, oops, oh by the way, Control Z is to undo, if you want to undo anything. Right, so we're going to lift it up. Now, I'm going to talk how to pose the face in a minute, but first we want to place the camera in a way so that it fits all together. Now, I don't know where to put this, but I will use this map just for the sake of using it. But you can also see, with a right click on this viewport here, you can do render settings and all this. I don't understand any of this, by the way. Please look up other tutorials for that. But that's how you unload map. You can also change your map by going to File and Load Map. That will change your map. Okay, so now that we got this, sorry my voice is all over the place. We got this. Now what we're going to do is oh shit, I'm moving the actual camera. Oops, you may come across those kind of mistakes when you're in it. But what we're going to do now is place the camera here. Now we need to do a couple of little finicky parts with his face. So what we need to do is we need to make his face look more towards the camera so we can see more of his expression. Now, sometimes you might notice that with glasses and long hair you can't see the eyebrows, and that sometimes makes it harder to understand the facial expressions. You have to kind of express it with body language. That is hard. Sometimes that comes with practice. By the way, any of this stuff that I'm doing, this is all from practice of doing it over time. What's the runtime at the moment? Okay, we're 21 minutes in. This is going to be a long ass video. Anywho, now that we got that, what we want to be doing is we want to pose the face. So you select the Inkling body model, or Inkling girl, or whatever model, and then you got this thing here, which has the face, which has the eyes. Now we can move the eyes by moving these sliders. As you can see, it moves the eyes. So then, what we needed to do is we want to make it look like he's up looking at the camera, and then he's got like a cheeky grin on his face. So we're gonna up the no, we're gonna keep the cheeks down. We're gonna do smirk teeth like that, and then we're gonna add two angry, because at the end of the day, this is fucking JH. He's a badass. And if you want to know things about my character, well, I did have a video on my channel. I don't know if I'll put it back public, but I put it unlisted for now because of reasons. Anyway, as you can see now, when I click camera, this is what he looks like. But this looks kind of bland. So what are we going to do now? Well, we're going to add particle systems. That means explosions. So what we want to do is you want to, again, this time you go to new particle system. You're brought up with this menu. Now, you want to be looking for them in the source filmmaker files, but oh shit! Back forward. Go to let's go to source filmmaker game. Let's go to workshop, materials. Nope, that's the wrong one. I can't remember which one it was in now, because I do have a particles, AC animations, SDK, explosion, sample explosion, PCF. Now this should show me an explosion. So now, okay, now you may think, but JH, there's nothing here. Well, once I start dragging this, and then we should be able to move the time. As you can see, what's this? A particle. This is the particle effects. Now, if I move this around, it doesn't move, but as soon as I do a frame, there you go, it moves. So, what we want to do okay, so we've got I found it again, I just forgot how it worked, but here we go. So we've got the particle. Now, as you can see, it shows up, and it's one of those that always follows the camera. So here you see it looking there, now it's looking here. What we want to do is we want to make it go a bit further down and blow up something like this. Now, one explosion is not going to do it. No. So, this is where this copying thing comes into place. You do that, you click copy, now this thing comes up. Paste it, now you got another one. Move it to where you want it, reset the time frame, and there you go, the explosion looks bigger. But to make it more in line with the bottom of it, you see, now it may look a bit translucent, not to worry, because we can just fit, because that's what these things will do. Now I hope that now 3, maybe 4 will be good enough. Yeah, 4 will be excellent. So now, as you can see, we've got our particle effects. So now it looks like badass that he's been blown away from the explosion. So now what we want to do is we want to make it look more up in the air. So what do? Well, simple. Grab all of this, move into the work camera, move it up. Now, as you can see, because we moved it up, these explosions may need to go down. So this is this is the trial and error thing of SFM. You do need to do trial and error a few things in order to make it look good. Now, as you can see, I pretty much like this how it is. That's good. Now, we're going to get on to the lights. So, what's the running time? Oh my god, 30 minutes. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have decided to record this video, but hey, anyway, you're getting some tutorial on it. Now, obviously, the explosions don't have any light on them, so what we're going to do is we're going to reinforce the explosion effect. To do so, what we're going to do is you're going to need to create a new light. Now, the light will always spawn here on the cameras. Now, I'm going to drag that out of the way. What we're going to do is we're going to make it look, we're going to tilt it down. Golf. Sorry about that, I had to get rid of something then, so anyway, as you can see this light looks a lot bright, but what we're going to do is we want to make it bigger, we want to lower that intensity, but here's where it gets interesting. We're going to make it a volumetric light. So if you've seen those lights through smoke, or you've seen those kind of stage volumetric lights, that's what this is going to turn into. So what we're going to do is we're now going to go down to right click it, go down to enable volumetrics. Now it might not look about it, but as soon as you change it, move the camera, there you go, it becomes a volumetric light. So what we want to do now, because these explosions have no effect whatsoever, we want to make it reinforce the fact that they're explosions. So let's put the light to face onto them mainly. Now we're going to want to colour it. First, let's increase the intensity of it. Now this is where you work with this camera as well to make it work well. We're going to do this, go down to the where it says colour. Now that is the American spelling, just for any one thing. What we want to do is we want to turn the blue down. Now it might look a bit green or yellowy, but then turn the green down and you start to get a red light. Now we do that, increase that, but then it doesn't look thing. So what we're going to do is increase the volumetric intensity. Now the explosions look more threatening. That's how you do it. Right, so we need another light here, and then we just need one light to face onto my character, and then the poster's ready to be rendered. Now, we're going, just because it's easier to do this, and this is usually the process I do, just copy the light, paste it. Now, it does go a bit slower, because volumetrics do take a lot on your graphics card. I recommend not doing volumetric lights if you don't have a good enough graphics card. Anyway, as you can see, it looks a bit too bright. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower the intensity a little on both lights. But return, we're going to put the volumetric intensity up a little, just to give that more of an effect. So there you go. Now he is kind of thing because of the way he's looking. So what we're going to do, instead of copying, we're going to make a new light. This light is not going to be volumetric. This light, I forgot, it spawns in the freaking group of it. This light is only just going to be to aim at him from a slight upward and a slight downward angle. Now, this is what, now as you can see, that is way too bright, but we're going to make it the light slightly bigger, but we're going to lower the intensity a lot, and I mean a lot. Now, this is where you want to be looking at more through this camera, which is basically just your normal camera, which it shows here camera 1, not work camera. You want to be looking through this, and you want to adjust it appropriately so that it doesn't look too bright on the character. And then, so this is basically the process of how I would make a poster and how I do make things in SFM. Plus, I hope that this is helpful with the fact of particle systems, lighting and posing. I'm sorry if it got a bit too technical. I tried to help. I know I didn't go over binding clothes and everything to the model. I'm sorry about that, but there are things about on the internet about it. So, thank you guys for watching. I will render this poster and you will see it at the end of the video. Thank you.